again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Brown's Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski, but you can call me Grizzer. A lot of people do, and this is where we get you caught up with some of the latest news and tidbits that are tied to our favorite team in the NFL, the Cleveland Browns. Thank you to everybody who has liked our previous episodes, who has subscribed to the channel. When we get to 12,000, we'll give the orange quarter zip a rest and pull out the Shador shirt. We got the 12. We got the 12 ready to go when we get to 12,000 subscribers. And thank you to everyone who has gotten their comments down there in the viewer comment section. As you see, we're still not back in the Browns Latest studio here with the Doors, the Shadors. But we'll be back at the end of the week in the studio. So thank you for bearing with us. Hope you like the new digs this week. Now, coming up on today's show, the Browns get some good news on a very key defensive player. But I have some bad news when it comes to Bills head coach Sean McDermott and his history against rookie quarterbacks. We're going to go over a list that just proves, to me at least, why Kevin Stefanski should have been fired, if not weeks, months ago. And in the viewer comments, the day Kevin Stefabatage checked out. Well, talking about Kevin Stefanski, but my new nickname for Kevin is Kevin Stefabatage because the season has been sabotaged by him. So Kevin Stefabatage. We'll find out what's going on down there. But first things first, Devin Bush acquitted in that domestic violence case, accused of an incident with his girlfriend. This is huge because Devin Bush has been one of the big, Carson Schlesinger, huge this year. Myles Garrett, of course, but Devin Bush has had a career year this year. Now, here's the thing. He's only 27. It seems like this guy's been around forever. Remember, he was with Pittsburgh. So he will not, he's been acquitted. So he won't face anything. It was a misdemeanor charge of simple assault. And, but here's the thing. Under the NFL's domestic violence policy, he could still be suspended. Remember that. Remember what happened to Mike Hall last year when his incident was pleaded down to disorderly conduct, but he was still suspended for 5 games. And so now we'll have to wait and see what the league does in this case. But look at what Devin Bush has done this year in 14 games. 93 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 interceptions, and 1 was a pick 6. And so good news for the Browns, and hopefully the league will, because we're going to need him. We are going to need him against the Bills on Sunday because, oh boy, rookie quarterbacks versus the Bills, they don't typically fare well. Not to say that Shador won't, but Sean McDermott seems to feast on rookie quarterbacks. Here, take a look at this. Since Sean McDermott has taken over the Bills in 2017, he has faced rookie quarterbacks 16 times. He's 12-4 against them. This is including the playoffs. Rookie QBs have thrown for just 8 touchdowns and 17 interceptions against McDermott-coached teams. So that makes this week's game against the Bills for Shador is going to be a huge test. The most recent rookie quarterback they faced was Bo Nix and the Broncos in that wild card playoff game last year. The Bills held Nix. Oh boy. They held Nix 13 of 22 passing, 144 yards. He did throw a touchdown, but he was sacked twice. So the Browns, Stefanski, Tommy Rees, they better be looking at that wild card tape from last year and see what the Bills did to Bo Nix and try to get some insight, because this is going to be a tall task for Shador. McDermott, man, I can't believe he's been with the Bills since 2017. Man, he has really turned that organization around. Now, there are lots of teams that have turned it around, and this is what I teased at the top. This is what I think should be the number one glaring reason Kevin Stefanski should have been fired weeks, months. I was screaming for it 5 years ago. You heard Sort of Pop Dave talk about that the other day. But this should have happened so long ago. And here's why. Let's give you a sampling of the teams that, because here's what's so hard as a Browns fan to watch is our team. We haven't put 2 winning seasons together since they've come back. That's 1999. And to watch all of these other teams be good, drop down, come right back, be good, come back. Even teams that historically have stunk, rise to the top, and here we are. Take a look at this list. You got teams like Detroit. You know, in 2021, they were 3-13-1. Look at them now. They were 12-5, 15-2, back-to-back NFC North titles. They're in the mix again this year. How about Houston? Between 20 and 22, Houston. 4-13, 3-13. And then they get Stroud, you get a coach, you start turning things around, and look at them now. Jacksonville, another example. They are on fire. Especially, you see what they did last week? They scoring points at will now. But they were, as early as 2023, they were 4-13. Turned it around. How about your defending Super Bowl champion Eagles? They were 4-11-1 and a complete mess in 2020. Can you believe that? And then here they are, winning a Super Bowl last year, their Super Bowl appearance in 2022, over 50 wins during that time. Just insane. And I'll throw in a couple others. How about Denver and New England? How quickly they turned it around. Denver, after the Russell Wilson debacle, and they get Sean Payton in there, who I was screaming for 2 years ago. And now look at him. In the mix to be the top seed in the AFC heading into the playoffs. What changed? Well, Sean Payton. Coaching and culture. Payton brought an offensive structure. There's something we don't have. Accountability. There's something we don't have. And a defined identity. Another thing we don't have. This is what a coach does. It is exactly what Stefanski doesn't do. Offensive structure, accountability, defined identity. That's what he brought to the Broncos. And look what Vrabel doing the same thing with New England. They have their quarterbacks, and they take care of the rest. Quarterback and a coach. That's what you need. Quarterback and a coach. We have a quarterback. We 100% don't have a coach. We have Kevin Stefanski, which is a variation of the word sabotage, because that is what he has done to this entire 2025 season. Is he has sabotaged it. He sabotaged Shador. He sabotaged the defense and what they have done. We're number 1 against the pass. Number 2 is Buffalo. Passing yards. And so for people who want to rail on the defense for the way the rushing, our rush defense has been the pay. We're gonna have a little more on this as the week goes on, but you can't. Losing Malik Collins was huge. He was having a Pro Bowl year. People need to understand that, and we're just not deep enough to recover from things like that. And then you were missing Denzel Ward last week too. So, but these teams that have been able to turn it around, and that's on Stefanski, but it's also on the front office. Why aren't you going out and getting us a coach that can do this? You had Vrabel in the building. You had Sean Payton sitting on the beach. And all these other guys that come in and turn these organizations around. Why aren't we going out and looking for those guys? Why do we continually just go out there, game to game, month to month, season to season with Kevin Stefanski and go nowhere? It's mind-boggling for Browns fans. So, got it. This has got to end. Kevin Stefanski has got to go. What doesn't have to go, though, are the viewer comments. And we will start today with Swanson Family Farm. 6833. That sounds like a place I would want to take the kids. The Swanson Family Farm. Go there and pick apples or look for pumpkins. Maybe there's a hay maze or something corn maze or something like that. out there. Who knows? The Swanson family farm says the media selects the coach of the year, not football guys. So Kevin Stefanski, everybody says, well, he was 2-time coach of the year. Well, you could find a lot of things in a Cracker Jack box. Yeah, that was the second one especially. That was, he lucked into that with Flacco, and then we played after we lost to the Rams, we played the 4 worst teams in the league that year, and Flacco was able to do enough to get us those wins, get us in the playoffs, and then what happens? Kevin Stefanski gets pummeled by a rookie quarterback in C.J. Stroud in the playoffs. So remember, the one playoff game we won, he wasn't there. He was in his basement with COVID. There's another reason we should have him fired. Katrina Campbell, 8402, says, no way a 2-time coach of the year can make all these obvious mistakes. He cannot be this incompetent. It has to be on purpose. Seems that way. I started talking about this last week. As much as I thought when he named Shador the quarterback, I thought he would lighten up a little bit. He was even joking with reporters. Seemed like there was a weight lifted off his shoulder. Now, especially, and it started with that press conference last Friday, this looks like a coach who is checked out. He seems so detached and just so flippant about all of his answers. When asked about the team and the injuries and everything, he was just like, oh, yeah, I don't know. We got guys. That'll play. Yeah, they'll play. We got guys. It doesn't matter. All the guys on the offensive line are hurt. Whatever. Okay. Literally, that's how I took it. Like, everything he was asked about, well, I don't know. Whatever. We'll go through it. And then to hear all the reports from the sideline of how this team was not ready to play against those Bears on Sunday, it just tells you everything you need to know for sure. We move on. It's a little different when you're not in the studio because you don't have all of the normal tools that you're used to working with. So you work off of things like your phone. In these situations, but we make it work. It's okay. We got this. It's me and the Doors. We're good. Me and the Shadors. Teresa, CM, 6846. Here's the theory. When Haslam told Stefanski he had to play Shador, this is what we teased at the top, and I completely agree. Here's a theory. When Haslam told Stefanski he had to play Shador, Stefanski checked out. I think he wants to be fired and get paid to leave. And so, yeah. And going back to Katrina's point about he can't be making all these mistakes on his own. It has to be on purpose. Like, I think it all comes into play. I do think, Teresa, that when he was told he had to play Shador, and it goes back to draft day, it goes back to all of that, what we talked about. Barry and Haslam were like, yeah, go ahead. Haslam said, go get him, Barry. Go. And Stefanski was like, no, wait, I got my guy. But everybody knew your guy was never, ever even going to make it in the NFL. See Tua. He's about to get benched. Undersized left-handed quarterbacks. I'm sorry. This is not, it's the way the league is. You can't be 5'10 and left-handed and be a franchise quarterback in the NFL. You just can't do it. It's just one of those things. You can't do it. You also can't be 5'10 and play center in the NBA. Same thing. Like, it just won't work. But no, Kevin Stefanski much rather Stefanski the entire season than try to take the guy who we all know is better and turn him into the franchise quarterback we know he will be. And that's Shador Sanders. Stefanski would rather take everything he has and throw it at the undersized left-handed quarterback who everybody on the planet knows will never make it in the NFL. I mean, if that doesn't say Stefanski, then I don't know what does. Harry G, 9370. Kevin always exposes our weaknesses on offense every time he draws up a play. That's exactly right. And the fact that he's just so predictable and just never do we ever make second half adjustments. I mean, all of it. It's all on the table. And like I talked about the other day, we're running the ball, or was that yesterday? We're running the ball at a 7. Like Luke Whippler's having the game of his life at center. And we're still trying to run outside the tackles and getting stuffed, going nowhere. How do you not see that and then adjust your game plan to say, look, they can't stop us up the middle. We got to go up the middle. Let's start running. Let's start pounding the ball up the middle. Let's go. No, we don't do it. We don't do it at all. We actually run away from stuff like that. That's what we do. We're like, oh, we can't do that. It's going to work. It's the sabotage. That is why everybody thinks, Kevin, you are sabotaging the season. Because we actually can do things in these games that will work, but you don't do them. You go the opposite direction. And that is why you are Kevin Stefanski. And we will end today on Big Slim 7387, who says, Grizzer, that's me. 12 will be a menace next season. History proves it. Mark my words. And Big Slim, you couldn't be more correct. Because look at all of the things Shedeur had to endure this year. On top of being a rookie in the NFL, getting no reps, no work with the ones, a coach that hates him, the media scrutiny and all of it, all of that stuff. Now he can get a coach in here who believes in him, who will build this offense around him. And moving forward, all of that, it's like, what did I always talk about? Like the crab loses its shell. It has to go. You have to go through all the hard stuff first, and then, everything will just get much easier. There's no way he's going to ever endure a season like this. To have Kevin Stefanski working against him all season, to have that out of his way. Let's just start there. Is going to make a huge difference. Okay, that's going to do it for today's show. We'll be here a few more days. Me and the Shedeurs may even have a special guest for you at some point during this week. I'm working on it. I hope so. I hope we can get him. Hopefully, special guest. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. Thanks so much for joining us. Go Browns. We'll see you next time.